Cuba is a country full of resilient and resourceful people, but it's also a place where families face daily challenges when it comes to food, health, and opportunities. Even hardworking families can struggle to have enough nutritious food or maintain long-term health. There's a village in Cuba called La Piedra. It looks like many others, quiet, hardworking, nothing unusual at first glance. But something started happening there because one man decided to step inside his neighbor's home and listen. His name is Raudel. He's a craftsman and does whatever he can to provide for his family. One day, as he was passing by, he heard a farm stew class being taught by a local trainer named Liedis. She was explaining how to build raised beds, how to care for soil, and how to grow food that it truly nourishes the body. Raudel wasn't planning to stay long, but the lesson was so interesting that he stayed for the entire time. As the lesson concluded, he introduced himself. He said he wanted to learn more. He shared that he believed in God and was looking for a church too. That first connection turned into a friendship. Trainer Liedis and her husband Richard began visiting Raudel, studying the Bible with him, and even helping him think through ways to improve his work, in addition to teaching him all of the farm stew lessons at his neighbor's house every week. This wasn't a formal program. It was simply people walking alongside Raudel. One afternoon, after sharing a meal together, the conversation turned into health. Liedis and Richard talked about food, habits, and why certain choices matter. Liedis opened the scriptures and explained what the Bible teaches. Raudel turned to his wife and said, "If God doesn't like it, then neither do I." From that moment on, he began making changes. It wasn't easy. He stopped drinking coffee and he went through days of withdrawal, but he never went back. He began listening to farm stew lessons on his phone while he worked, letting those ideas shape his daily life. What he ate changed. How he lived changed. Raudel began to clear his land, remove the brush and overgrowth, and built 6 raised garden beds right in front of his home. He even cut down his coffee plants, even though they were nearly ready for harvest, because he had fully committed to a different way of living. He planted vegetables that would nourish his family. Now, when people walk past his home, they stop. They notice the garden. They ask questions. His home has become a living example of what's possible. And Raudel doesn't keep it to himself. He invites others in. He brings people to church. He shares what he's learned. And he has even begun to provide local transportation on Sabbaths to bring others with him because he wants them to experience Christ too. What's happening in Raudel's life is not just one story. This is what happens when farm stew enters a community. It equips people with practical skills, improves their health, strengthens families, and most important, it multiplies and shares the gospel. One life changes, then another, and soon entire communities begin to shift. Raudel now says he wants a crown of stars. He wants others to experience the same transformation that he did. And the reason that's possible is because someone was there to teach, to walk with him, and to share a simple, practical, Bible-based way of living that works. If this is interesting to you, the next best thing is to learn more. I put together a short, simple guide that walks through how farm stew works and why it's helping families create lasting change. It's completely free. Just scan the QR code on the screen or go to farmstew.org/method and I'll send it straight to you. That's the impact of farm stew, and it's why this work matters so much. It's a grassroots movement that equips people with simple, practical tools to improve their lives in a lasting way. And once that change takes root, it spreads from one person to another. There are still countless communities like La Piedra and people like Raudel who are just one moment of curiosity away from everything changing. What happened in Raudel's life is just one story among thousands of families' lives that are changing for the better around the world. May God bless you abundantly.